The global economic landscape could be very different this time next year, but 2020's most expensive cities have been revealed. The Economist Intelligence Unit's Worldwide Cost of Living Report is a biannual survey comparing the cost of living in over 130 cities worldwide. The report examines more than 400 individual prices across 160 products and services. Here are the 10 most expensive cities to live in 2020.
Number 10.
Geneva is one of the most expensive places to live in the world. Although salaries are higher and taxes lower than the European average, a large portion of gross income goes towards obligatory health insurance and other deductions. Most people rent accommodation because property prices are high and a large down payment is required. Housing and energy account for an average of 16%, transport 8%, entertainment and leisure 13%, and food and non-alcoholic beverages 7% of a typical monthly household budget. The cost of renting an apartment in Geneva is higher than in New York or Paris and twice as much as in Amsterdam or Brussels. Renting a house costs twice as much as an apartment. However, Geneva is quite a luxurious place to live. The city is well looked after, public services are maintained to a high standard, and it's very safe.
Number 9.
The strengthening of the yen this year led Japan's capital to soar up the rankings, this time to 9th position. While meal prices in Tokyo can vary, the average cost of food in Tokyo is 3,195 yen per day. Based on the spending habits of previous travelers, when dining out, an average meal in Tokyo should cost around 1,278 yen per person. Factoring in accommodations, meal fees, transportation, entry fees, souvenir prices, the average tourist will spend around 20,000 to 25,000 yen for a day in Tokyo. What's remarkable about Tokyo is that it's the world's largest metropolitan area in the world and yet still scores highly for its cleanliness.
Number 8.
When the demand for something is high, prices rise. There is plenty of demand to live in Los Angeles. As a result, everything including rent, food, gas, and utilities is expensive. You'll find that living in LA is more expensive than living in most other US cities, barring perhaps New York, with much of that difference attributed to housing and entertainment costs. The biggest factor that makes living in LA so expensive is the high housing cost. Low vacancy and high demand mean that average rent in Los Angeles is high compared to the rest of the country. As of January 2020, apartments in LA rented for an average of $2,545, almost double the $1,463 nationwide average.
Number 7.
According to the Economist Intelligence Unit's 2020 Worldwide Cost of Living Survey, Tel Aviv was the most expensive city in the Middle East and the 7th most expensive city in the world in which to live. Real estate prices are high, especially in the larger cities such as Tel Aviv, but food, clothes and groceries are fairly reasonable. Renting in Tel Aviv, Israel can be more expensive than in other Israeli cities, given its status as the commercial and cultural capital of the country. The average monthly rent in Israel rose 1.6% in the past year to a record new Israeli shekel 4,000. The average monthly rent in Israel continues to rise.
Number 6.
Zurich, it is the sixth most expensive city in the world. Transportation, food, and accommodation, none of which is cheap, will be the bulk of your expenses. However, if you're moving to Zurich as an expat, you will have to shell out even more for taxes, license fees, and mandatory insurance premiums. Zurich is famous for luxurious lifestyles, high-end shopping, and fancy chocolates. However, despite its expense and extravagance, it is also ranked as one of the best cities to live in the world.
Number 5.
Paris has always been expensive. It's partly driven by high real estate prices that feed through to retail prices, it's just structurally expensive, and the high wages also makes a difference. So all that amounts to a salary of €1,500 minimum, it just covers basic needs. If you also wanted to be able to buy slightly more expensive things from time to time, you'd need around €2,000 at least to be more comfortable. Rent in Paris is around €700 for a studio. Paris is clearly popular with tourists, but the French capital makes a great place to live too.
Number 4.
New York City has a reputation for being one of the most expensive cities in the world. New York City's high cost of living is due to its booming economy and large job market across a variety of industries. Rents in the city are reaching historic rates, and 1.5 million New Yorkers are living in poverty. To be precise, the cost of living in Manhattan was 148% higher than the average cost for major US cities. To live a comfortable and satisfying lifestyle in New York, even when you have roommates splitting the cost, a yearly income of $50,000 or more is ideal. There's no other city on the planet with an energy that can compete with New York. The fast pace, the buzzing traffic, the hustle and bustle of the people, the 24-hour life, and the creative spirit make New York one of the most vibrant places in the world.
Number 3.
Hong Kong, you should allow for 30,000 Hong Kong dollars to 50,000 Hong Kong dollars per year for other living costs, including food, transportation, and personal items, depending on how extravagantly you plan to live. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Hong Kong can range from 12,000 to 20,000 Hong Kong dollars or more per month. On the upside, most apartments easily meet the highest standards of living. Older buildings are often renovated to offer their tenants the same comfort as new housing developments.
Number 2.
The Japanese city of Osaka has surpassed Paris and New York as one of the world's most expensive cities, according to new research. The annual report from the Economist Intelligence Unit named Osaka as the second city with the highest cost of living worldwide. You should plan to spend around 9,258 yen per day on your vacation in Osaka, which is the average daily price based on the expenses of other visitors. Past travelers have spent, on average, 2,574 yen on meals for one day and 1,644 yen on local transportation.
Number 1.
Singapore reigns as the world's most expensive city for the fifth year in a row, based on a report by the Economist Intelligence Unit. The main reason why Singapore is ranked most expensive in the world is because of the average lifestyle they use to make the comparison. For example, they compare cars, private housing, restaurant prices, private education, medical services, all part of an expat lifestyle. However, Singapore's location in the center of Southeast Asia, its well-developed tourism industry, its mix of cultures, its safety, and its efficient airport make it an attractive travel destination. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates.